If you're searching for a meaningful spiritual experience, look no further than St. Anthony's Parish in Allston, Massachusetts. Join us at 43 Holton Street in between Soldiers Field Road and the Mass Pike. Immerse yourself in the complete St. Anthony's Parish encounter through our 10 o'clock a.m. chanted Mass. Whether you're a Catholic seeking a parish to call home or someone looking for spiritual guidance, our welcoming community is here for you. Visit our website at www.stanthonyalston.org for more information. St. Anthony's Parish, where faith finds a home. Welcome to the voice of St. Anthony Parish from Allston, Massachusetts, right here on WROL 950 AM 100.3 FM. And you can also hear us at CatholicAudiomedia.com. That's CatholicAudiomedia.com. And you can also hear us on your favorite podcast platform. Just look for Catholic Audio Media, all one word, and scroll through until you find the voice of St. Anthony Parish from the results. Or on Spotify, it's 3 words, Catholic Audio Media. So, an interesting question came up. This again is from the Catholicism Forum on Reddit. And it was, do I have to obey my priest or the Pope? Well, there's a really good question there. And the answer is something that we want to understand within faith. And that is, do you have to strictly obey? Well, that would depend on the situation. There are no what we call liturgy police who will, make sure that if you're doing something incorrect, the liturgy police will come along and make sure you do things correct, being obviously sarcastic, but there are no such things. So, say, for example, and I guess this was the case, that someone is reading a book and the priest tells them not to read it. Can they no longer read the book? Yes, they can continue reading the book. They've been advised not to. And of course, the obvious question would be, well, why can't I read this book? What do you see as a problem with it? Give you a good example. I don't like the Baltimore Catechism. I said that earlier in the week. So if someone came to me and said, I want to read the Baltimore Catechism, I would say, please don't. There is another catechism that's approved by the Vatican. Pope Benedict wrote the foreword to it, called the UCAT. Please use that instead. Another book I disagree with is called Credo, which is by Bishop Athanasius Schneider. I would say, please don't. Are you now mandated not to read the Baltimore Catechism or Credo? No. You're not. You can read those if you want. But then if you start coming to me and saying, well, why does it say this? Why, I can sit down and explain to you. That's why I told you not to read those books, because it left you kind of confused or misunderstanding what we teach. Credo puts Vatican II in a very low place as opposed to the Council of Trent. Well, the problem is Vatican II and the Council of Trent together give you a deeper understanding of how to live our faith, whereas when you reject Vatican II and you embrace, or you lower Vatican II and you raise the Council of Trent, it's going to give you a less comprehensive understanding of our faith, and it's going to be also an understanding that focuses more on the 16th century than on the 20th. You want something that covers all of our understanding of the faith. So that's one of the reasons why I don't like Credo. And the Baltimore Catechism I've spoken about many times. You can sum up the Baltimore Catechism, each question and answer in the Baltimore Catechism, on Twitter. You could literally, the questions and answers are so pithy, you could literally tweet out most, if not all, the questions and answers, and our faith is far more profound than that. So, but are you required then, once I say that, not to read those 2 books? No. But I will tell you that you'll probably come to me and say, I don't understand this. Why is this like that? And I'd say, well, that's why I didn't want you to read the books. But I'd be nicer. But you see what I'm saying. So are you required to do what I say? No, it's more or less what I'm saying is best not to. Now, if I were to tell you to do something wrong, you are absolutely absolutely forbidden from following that, and it would be best if you talk to one of my superiors. So one of the best examples of this is when I first started ministry. I made it clear with the youth, and I've always made that clear with the youth, that anything I say to them is never a secret. You always want to be careful of anyone who says, oh no, this is a secret between us, when you're dealing with kids. And unfortunately, out in the West Coast, there are teachers unions and teachers that are saying, oh no, we can keep this secret from your parents. That's very, very dangerous. No. And so what I would always say is, if I tell you something that is a secret that I'm not supposed to tell you, that's my problem. That's not yours. And nothing I tell you is ever a secret. And that is to protect them from, and I always be careful. I always say, if anyone says this is a secret between you and me, go tell your parents immediately. And it's always to protect them from that kind of very dangerous relationship. We're going to talk more on the other side of the break. We'll be right back right after this. You can now leave a message for us, which we can air and discuss on this program. Just call 617-297-7452. That's 617-297-7452. 617-297-7452. Feel free to call, leave a comment, a question, or even feedback, and we may play it on the air. I can discuss your comment or question as well, so give that a try. 617-297-7452, 617-297-7452. We're back, and we're talking about this reality of, are we required to obey what a priest tells us? And I just explained that in the first half. It's something to listen to, take under advisement, maybe follow what the priest says, unless it's something that you'd say, no, I refuse to listen to that for a good reason. For example, this is a secret between you and me. No, it isn't. And, if you have, always make sure you teach your children that. Very important. If someone says to your child, this is, some adult says to your child, this is a secret between you and me, make sure you teach your child to tell you immediately. The other thing is, do we have to listen to what the Pope says? Yes, within the context. I mean, if the Pope came out tomorrow and he said, you have to vote for candidate X, no, you don't have to listen to that. He has no business saying that. But if he came out tomorrow, which he did, that Traditionis Custodes, where he limited the use of the Latin Mass, and this angered a lot of people. He didn't eliminate it, he limited the use of it, and all these people got angry. Well, that's the reason why he limited it, because there was the people who wanted the Latin Mass were causing a division in the church. Some people were being very caustic in that division. And although there are many people who are very nicely going to the Latin Mass and whatever. I mean, I haven't been to Latin Mass since 1968. But there are others that it's becoming very political. And they'll stand up literally with the Latin Mass and their AR-15 and their the candidate they're going to support. And those three things don't go together. They just don't. And that's an issue. So the Pope, seeing this, said, wait a minute. And he limited, he didn't say you can't do it, but if you're going to go to Latin Mass, there are certain requirements that are going to be required of the priest who is saying it, certain requirements that are going to be required of the person who is attending, of the place it's being held, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he did want to limit the Latin Mass for that reason. It was causing division. So that's one example. And some people, they have chosen not only not to accept that teaching, but they've chosen not to accept him as Pope. Well, then they become sedevacanists. And then in that case, they're really not Catholic officially, because in order to be a Catholic, you have to believe what the Catholic Church teaches, and the Catholic Church teaches that Francis is the Pope. And I'm not going to get too much into that because that's canon law. And as I told you yesterday, I got a D- in canon law. But you want to be careful. But that's one of the reasons why the Pope said no to the Latin Mass. So, it all goes back down to, what does he say within the context of what he says? For example, right now, if the Pope says something that you disagree with for this country, then that's something that is more a political issue, and he doesn't have the authority to speak definitively on political issues. He does have the authority, just as anyone else, to make an opinion on political issues, but he doesn't have the authority. But there's another example. He does have the authority to say Catholics don't believe in the death penalty, and that's another thing that he stated. Now, I've been against the death penalty all my life. And Pope John Paul II said the death penalty should only be used when there is no other recourse for dealing with a person who has committed a capital crime. And he says that this is Pope John Paul II. He said that condition virtually does not exist. I forget the exact words, but basically the conditions that would allow for the death penalty do not exist. But what the Pope Francis said definitively, those conditions do not exist, and therefore we as Catholics do not believe in the death penalty. And there are many people, which absolutely blows my mind, many people who embrace the death penalty and fight for it and stand up and this is wrong, we have to embrace the death penalty. Absolutely make no sense to me, because many of them are very much anti-abortion and they're pro-death penalty. Some of them are even pro-gun. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. So in that case, the Pope said that Catholics do not believe in the death penalty. Therefore, that is part of our teaching. We'll talk more on Monday. Have yourself a blessed day. I want to call your attention to Catholic TV, which offers great faith-filled, family-friendly programming 24 hours a day. You can find your cable channel at www.getcatholictv.com, and you can watch online on the free apps or check out the YouTube channel. Daily Mass, Rosaries, the Divine Mercy Chaplet, and the Our Lady of Perpetual Help Novena are all available online and on demand. Check out CatholicTV.com. If you're searching for a meaningful spiritual experience, look no further than St. Anthony's Parish in Allston, Massachusetts. Join us at 43 Holton Street in between Soldiers Field Road and the Mass Pike. Immerse yourself in the complete St. Anthony's Parish encounter through our 10 o'clock a.m. chanted Mass. Whether you're a Catholic seeking a parish to call home or someone looking for spiritual guidance, our welcoming community is here for you. Visit our website at www.stanthonyalston.org for more information. St. Anthony's Parish, where faith finds a home.